Hey, a little change of scenery here. Oh, this is not a good thing to sit on. I'm sitting on a birdseed box, or I'm trying to. All right, got my cup of coffee here. Oh yes, and it's nice and cool. Just finished my workout. Here was my workout today. Of course, it's going to be backwards for you guys, but basically lots of shoulder work. Right, so I have minimal equipment. I just have kettlebells, I got bands, I have a tree, I have a wall, woody. Clearly I'm not in my garage or my master's athlete's garage right now. I am back home in West Virginia at the house that I grew up in. But I had to drive up yesterday, take care of some things, and gather my childhood memories here. So just got done with training this morning. Since I drove all day yesterday, I didn't train. So I figured I would do it this morning on a Sunday. Sunday usually I take rests, but it was a lot of pushing and pulling and being vertical, horizontal. Awesome work today. So I had to use kettlebells and my body weight. So, hope everybody's having a good Sunday. Salute to coffee here. This is, I don't know, Mom picked it up on the Keurig. I have no idea. I don't like the Keurig. It gets the job done. Is it quality coffee? No, it's definitely not. But coffee from the DR might be a good thing to have. I'm getting some coffee from Wheeling, West Virginia today. So it's called Highlander Grog coffee. It's awesome coffee. Anywho, okay, so we're going to hit things a little bit today, kind of stemming off from last week. A little bit of the Turkish Get Up, right? So we went over the Turkish Get Up last week and how I believe everybody and their mother should learn how to do this movement. Not only is it trying to get up off of the floor, right? If someone has a slip and fall or a fall, they hit their bum and it's hard for them to get up. This is definitely an absolute strength movement, raw strength movement. So put a kettlebell or a soup can in your hand, then you create a stability component into the shoulders. So I'm just going to talk about the first portion, and then I kind of want to give you guys a little tour of how I had my workout set up today. Since I have minimal equipment, as well as just training in the garage that I grew up at in West Virginia. So we're going to go over the portion of the Turkish Get Up where you are laying on your back and you just have that kettlebell pointed up in the air. And the first position is to get up onto the elbow that's connected to the floor. So got my handy dandy kettlebell over here. So I brought these home. I brought my set of 25s and a set of 35s, and I actually had a set of dumbbells here at the West Virginia house that, oh no, get out of my coffee. We got gnats everywhere. Don't make fun of West Virginia. Okay, I don't know where I'm going to put this, but I guess I'll just figure it out. Oh well. Okay, so first movement. I'm going to demo on the arm that's closest to, this is actually my left arm, this was my weaker arm. So, first movement position. Get this a little bit set up here. Of course, I brought my yoga mat home too. First movement is laying on your back. Actually, I'm going to demo with the other arm. Laying on your back. Okay? That kettlebell, your knuckles are pointed up to the ceiling. Elbow straight. My first movement, my knee is bent on the same leg that the arm is up. My first movement is trying to get up onto my opposite elbow. So my arm and my leg are kind of out at a 45-degree angle. Don't want to break this, that would be bad. Okay? My first movement is driving my leg down into the floor as well as my arm. I'm pushing my body into the floor, driving off this heel to get onto this elbow. My eye is on my target. Okay, just that movement. And then coming back down. Pushing onto that elbow and coming back down. So that's the first portion of the Turkish Get Up. All right, that requires a lot of this core bending, as well as getting this posterior chain driven, pushed into the floor in order to create rigidity or stiffness into the shoulders that translate out into the arms, right? I talked about last week how you have to have proximal, meaning up, stability, right? Strong like a tree trunk. You're not going to move if someone tries to push you. For distal, meaning away from the center of the body, mobility. So proximal, i.e. shoulders, hips, stability for distal mobility. Okay? That first portion of the movement can be a great abdominal work as well as the shoulder complex and even getting that posterior chain a little bit activated, right? By mean activated is getting those muscles awakened to say, hey, I need to contract in order to stabilize my hip so I can get up onto my elbow. I'm going to demo again with that movement. I'm going to add a little bit of a shoulder press into this so you can be a little bit more dynamic here exploring this movement, right? This is something that was instilled in my training program throughout the whole year leading up to Miami. So this is how I slowly started to progress and create strong shoulders. Here. I can add a little press. I can add a press at the bottom. Okay, slowing that motion down. Fantastic exercise. So, adding a tempo to that. So maybe a 3-second lower as you're going to add a press to that and then exploding back up. Trying to figure out if you have a stability discrepancy, maybe one side's a little bit unstable than the other. And again, that gives you information, right? So just a little tidbits on that. Give that first portion of the Turkish Get Up a try. Let me know what you think. You can tag FPT Coffee Talk with that. But I kind of want to show you how my setup was. I put everything away, but when I was training this morning, but first a cup of coffee. Actually a sip. So I actually had deficit handstand push-ups today. So I used some old school books. They're actually my sister-in-law's med school books as my deficit. So they're probably about 2 inches. I would say about the thickness of a 25-pound plate, a typical 25-pound plate that you would see. And all I did was line them up to the wall. Okay? I'm just going to demo very quickly on how I did my deficit handstand push-up. Now I had to get into a 3-second descent. This took me over a year to do with pain-free mechanisms in my shoulder, right? So this is what I worked on today. I'll kind of just demo and kick up very quickly, and then I'll kind of show you how I did pull-ups on the tree as well. Because I don't have a pull-up bar here, so again, I'm trying to keep everything kind of lined in, my elbows tucked into my body as I descend into my handstand push-up. This is a pretty progressive movement. Again, this was something that came later into my training program after I worked on the little movements, right? Like the Turkish Get Up I just demoed earlier. Cool. Wow, that felt still pretty strong to do that. All right, so kind of want to give you guys a little bit of a tour. So that was my little handstand station, okay? I used some old books that were in the basement, and then I had some kettlebells that I brought down, and this was my little stash of, I brought my kettlebells from home, and then we also had these old school interchangeable plates that we got from Walmart, probably like 20 years ago. But my pull-up station was here. I had some lean away strict pull-ups to do today, and a nice pretty tree branch that I used right here. Gosh, the diameter on that was probably about 3-4 inches, something like that. But I also had to do burpee pull-ups today in my actual training workout. So I'll kind of just show you how I did that here. I think this is lined up right. But I had a little station here. I did my burpee, and then I had to jump and do a strict pull-up. So that was kind of fun. And then, of course, I had a little run involved with that. So I'll post my actual like Metcon workout that I had today. Oh, and that's the basketball hoop I literally played basketball on every night growing up. I went on a basketball scholarship when I was in college. So, but and then we had a little run out the lane. So this is the entrance to the lane. So I ran one way up this way to about that path right there where my thumb is, and then I came back down, circled around, and went probably up to the neighbor house where that truck is, where my pointer finger is. That was about a quarter of a mile, so I had to run a quarter of a mile. It was sandwiched in between some movements, but I felt pretty strong today. But I just kind of wanted to show you that you know, with all this quarantine stuff, you can still get bolder shoulders while you're at it. So the Turkish Get Up, you know, you can use anything. You can try to use a book and try to hold it like a waiter's carry. You know how waiters hold the trays up when they're in the, you know, delivering food in the restaurant. So give that Turkish Get Up a little bit of a try, that first portion. And then we'll kind of stem off of that perhaps next week. And getting into, instead of getting up onto the elbow, the next portion will be straightening that arm. So I'll show you those two movements right now to end the video with, and then we'll keep stemming off of that. So here we go. So remember that first portion of the Turkish Get Up. If you're just joining, you'll be able to see this movement earlier in the video. Okay, the first portion, getting up onto this elbow, driving my leg into the ground as well as my arm. Boom. Portion number one. Portion number two is getting up onto my hand. Boom. That's what we're going to go over next week, that transition from here to here. Okay? So, let me grab my coffee. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know. I'm going to continue to do these as much as possible, and you know, just give information out there. But definitely drop me a DM if you have any questions, or if you want me to demo any movements or thoughts on different movements or anything that's incorporated into rehab or your training program. Next week we're probably looking at FPT Coffee Talk on Sunday again, because I'm in West Virginia for the remainder of the week, so I won't be able to do a live Saturday shoot, however. But if you guys have any questions, again, reach out to me, and then I'll kind of periodically shoot some videos on my training that I had this week with minimal equipment. Much different, right? I'm not in a gym right now. So if you guys have any questions, again, drop me some questions into the DM, even on Facebook. This will be reposted to the YouTube page as well. But have a good Sunday. Salute. Nice cold coffee that came from my mom's Keurig. Shh, don't tell. But have a good Sunday. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.